It's another great day to be alive at the same time as Taylor Swift. Hello. Wow. 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 At the time of this episode coming out, it is October 13th. October? Hello, October. I said that weird. October 13th, and we have less than 2 months until we are all running, sprinting, screaming to Disney Plus to watch the end of an era. Oh, I called it. I called it on my Instagram stories yesterday. We all kind of knew that this is what was happening. It was inevitable. It was coming. It was rare. We were there, and I can't wait. But today, I want to talk about a few things with you guys. I did a quick trip to New York City for an event with Kate Spade, which was all about mental health. And I want to talk with you a little bit today about traveling alone, kind of the empowering experience that is, my tips for solo travel, what I learned and took away from this experience itself. And then, of course, we will dive into the Swiftivities of the documentary announcement and the Final Eras Tour show situation happening on Disney Plus, and then round things out with the submissions. How does that sound? Every time I film, without a doubt, I don't know why, my mouth gets so like gummy and I have to drink 1,000 sips of water. So here I am back from New York. It was a little bit crazy. I did a 36-hour turnaround cross country, which is no joke. I flew out on a red-eye Wednesday to New York City, and then I came back Friday. So I guess I was technically there for 2 full days, but it was a little bit cuckoo. Red eyes always sounds like a great idea in theory, and I have no idea how Taylor Swift says that jet lag is a choice because it's very difficult. I struggle deeply with jet lag when I get all messed up. I can sleep on a plane, but even if I sleep for literally the entire flight, when I get somewhere, I'm all thrown off. It's a struggle. And I really have no tips for you in that department. But I travel alone quite frequently. I travel pretty much monthly for various reasons. And I have found that traveling alone is definitely one of the most empowering experiences I've had in my adulthood. I think that everyone should do it. And I really love to talk about New York City for solo travel, in particular for women, because I think safety is really the biggest deterrent for me as to why I don't do more solo travel. And New York to me is a place where I feel really comfortable. Actually, New York and Las Vegas are my 2 top recommendations for solo travel because you don't need much in terms of transportation. Obviously, you can utilize public transportation in New York City. And once you get your bearings and kind of figure out places where you feel comfortable, you really can navigate the city quite easily. There's also just a lot of opportunity in both Vegas and New York for stumbling upon things. I think Vancouver would be another city if you were looking to get out of the US that I would recommend. My brother and I had a really scrumptious experience for the Eras tour when we were there, kind of just bebopping around the town. And I would say those are three cities that I would really recommend. Some other tips that I have when solo traveling is really map out sort of what you want your experience to be like. For me, a lot of it centers around food, and I kind of stay to certain areas, and then if I am going to venture out, I kind of plan that out as my little detour during my trip. So on this trip in particular, I really didn't have much time to venture out. I kind of stayed in the Times Square area of New York, which is not really a place that I typically spend a lot of time in, because to me it's the equivalent of Hollywood. It's really not the best part of Los Angeles, but I was determined to sort of make this work because I wanted to stay close to where my conference was, and I was excited to kind of try some local places. So I spent a lot of time on the app Belly, which, hey Belly, if you want to sponsor the podcast, let me know. Belly is this really cool app where it's kind of social media for food. So if you are looking for, let's say you're in Los Angeles, you're I have no idea where to eat, you can go on there and you can actually follow your friends, and then you can see where your friends have eaten in restaurants that they've ranked, or strangers. It doesn't have to be your friends. You can also see a map of all these different places and how they're ranked, restaurants I'm talking about. So you could put in I'm looking for brunch. I want to look at the map of places that are around me that are rated, at an 8.0 or above. And then when you eat somewhere new, you can mark it as bookmark it as you want to try it. You can bookmark it as you've ate there, and then where it ranks on your list, and then your favorite dishes. So it's really fun if you're a foodie like me, or you're solo traveling and you want to see what other people have ranked. So definitely recommend the app Belly. It's Beli. Beli or Belli? Regardless, it's Be. But let's talk about the conference itself. This was an investment on my end. I had some people on Instagram ask me, when you do trips like this, do brands pay for it? This is not a brand trip by any means. This was literally just an invitation to an event that Kate Spade was hosting. So this is fully paid out of pocket for me. And The expenses for my career are definitely astronomical. I spend a lot of money on a lot of different things for the sake of content, for the sake of self-betterment, for the sake of relationship building, and I think that's an important part of my job, so I'm aware of that. But for an experience like this, Kate Spade is called Kate Spade New York. Their brand is based in New York City. So pretty much all of their events are always in New York. And this is a brand that I have, I'm going to say the word targeted, but it's a genuine thing when I say that. For me, there's brands that I tend to put on sort of my list in the back of my head that I want to work with, that I either want to align with, that I feel like their brand, messaging, value, product, whatever it is, aligns heavily with my audience, with my wallet, my price range, with things that I feel passionate about, whatever it might be. Every brand sort of falls in a different category with that, but this is a fashion brand in particular that works really well with my audience. It's a really nice price range where it's, considered low-end luxury. It's attainable, it's aspirational. They're doing incredible work in, the philanthropic space. And then, of course, I just really am aligned with their focus on mental health. So this is their annual global summit on mental health. And I went to this once before, and it was a really empowering experience. They had so many different speakers. It's essentially from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And every 30 to 40 minutes, there's a new panel. And it's a lot of just sitting and listening, but I really feel like in adulthood, one thing that I'm missing is constantly learning and evolving like you are in your childhood. Every day is a new experience in your childhood. And I think one of the most mundane parts about adulthood is that's a lot of the same thing over and over again. For me, investing in this experience and flying out there and spending the money on the hotel, the flight, the travel, etc., was worth it because I walked away feeling really empowered, not only about the solo travel experience, but also just really empowered in the space of there's always more that I can be doing to better myself and better show up for my community online, which is obviously a massive goal for me as a content creator. So I want to share with you Allison Stoner, the child actor. She was a child actor growing up, and now she's a mental health advocate. Really incredible speaker, by the way. She did this panel, and it was talking about how to heal from trauma and sort of the mental health associated with it. And something that really stood out to me during this panel is she talked about the quote that people love to throw around, that time heals all wounds. And I think that's something I'm guilty of. I definitely have put a lot of stuff, not to say I'm riddled with trauma over here, but there's a lot of stuff that happens to us in our life, and especially as women, and we're definitely taught to put on your big girl panties, strap on your boots, move on. There are bigger problems to deal with. You have people to take care of if you're a mom or whatever it might be, and we really write off the fact that time will heal our problems. And that's true to a degree, but Allison was talking a lot about how we have to really be intentional about incorporating restorative experiences, because time itself is not a real thing. Time doesn't heal anything other than the fact that you probably are just shoving down your trauma or your problems or mental health issues, whatever it might be. And I think that reminder that strength is great and being a strong-willed person is great, but also recognizing that we do need help is something that really resonated with me, because I am a really hard-headed person. I'm super independent. I will find ways to solve my own problems, but I also hate asking for help. And always categorize that as a sign of weakness in my head of when I have to ask for help or when I'm emotional. I really don't show emotion often to people around me. I also don't really go to people when I'm hey, I'm feeling a certain way, because I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to this. I don't want to that. But I think that the reality of that and what I was stewing on when Allison was talking about all of this is that will inevitably build up and spew over into other aspects of my life, whether it's a mental health crisis, whether it's, treating people poorly, whatever it might be. So really taking that time the same way I invest in my career to invest in my mental health is something that I want to be more intentional about as we move into the last quarter of the year and 2026. Wanted to share that with all of you because I felt if it resonated with me, there's probably someone out there that it resonated with as well. Now, let's talk about the absolute chaos that is right now, because what a fun time to be alive. Which, by the way, so many of you guys sent me Taylor on Jimmy Fallon. She had mentioned not once, but twice. She quoted indirectly. She kind of said it's another great day to be alive. And it's really funny because so many of you guys sent that to me and were oh my gosh, she knows who you are. I'm I don't know. if it's like the most revolutionary statement that I created there, but I will tap into it and take it as a win that Taylor and Jimmy Fallon both said it's another great day to be alive while she was on his show, which is a fun nod. But we called it. We knew it. We knew something was coming. It's been a long time coming. I can't believe that my show that I attended, which is the final Eras Tour show in Vancouver, is going to be on Disney Plus. I am fingers and toes crossed that I am in this. I would absolutely lose my mind. I was not feeling super hopeful until one of you messaged me who was also there and was like, hey, there were cameras flying around near our section that we were in. So there is a possibility. And I was wearing a very flashy outfit. I had on that like near ankle length big sequin dress. So I'm hoping you could see me glimmering in the crowd. I don't know. It would be so, so cool. I also did a meetup outside the stadium, and I can't remember exactly if I saw cameras out there or not. It was kind of a blur, honestly, but that in itself will be really, really fun. The Eras Tour film is something that's like just great to have on the TV while you're working, while you're getting things done. And I'm so excited that I'm going to now be able to see Down Bad because they added the Tortured Poets Department part. So the 6 episodes, though, is really fun. I'm hoping that they're like an hour long. I would love if they were like an hour and 20 minutes long each. I feel like the fact that she said they did have a film crew the whole time. It seems like for the entire duration of the Eras Tour, they had a film crew. So I'm hoping that it's a lot of footage. I am most hoping for rehearsal footage, her talking through logistically a lot of stuff. Like, I think one of the questions we've all talked about that's on our mind is like the cats. How does she deal with the cats? How do the cats travel? Like, are they super well adjusted to just traveling their whole life that they are totally fine eating in new locations and sleeping in new locations? Are they always in her hotel room? Like, when she arrives places, I'm so curious about, like, does someone get there before her and set up her hotel room with all of her favorite stuff, her favorite towels, her favorite skincare, her favorite snacks? Like, what does that look like? Because I just don't see logistically how it makes any sense for her to like get off the plane, go to her room, set things up, remember things. So I don't know. I'm very curious. I was super excited about that little bathtub snippet that we got where you could see some of the products lined up on the shelf. Of course, they were pretty much all expensive except for the Away body wash, which was like $28. But I just want to see that side of her. I want to see, you know, she was saying she signs 2,000 CDs before she goes to bed. Like, how early did she start signing CDs for Life of a Showgirl before it came out? Like, all of that stuff is what intrigues me the most. And that's definitely what I'm excited for. So 2 months and counting. I absolutely can't wait. And I know you guys feel the same. So let's talk about some submissions that you guys sent in. I have 2 Swiftie related and 1 not. And the first one is going to be from our girl, Kenzie. Hey girl, thanks for listening. So Kenzie said, love all your content, especially the podcast. I was so glad when you came back. After listening to Life of a Showgirl many times, I've noticed something. It could just be a coincidence, but it's still fun. I've noticed that we're seeing a lot of orange feathers and birds. In the Fate of Ophelia music video, we see 2 birds, one in the beginning that lands on her hand, and one at the very end that flies out the bathroom window. I noticed this too. We also see that the orange feather out of the window is in one of the YouTube shorts, and her orange feather boa. The only thing I can think of is that birds hatch just like snakes. Ooh, we had the hatching album covers last week, so maybe this is all connected back to Reputation Taylor's version. I also don't think Reputation Taylor's version is coming anytime soon, but we will see. This might not be connected to anything, but a girl can dream. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day. I love this. I really do think that this is all like very early Easter egging, quite literally with like the hatching and the cracking. There's no way that this is just for fun. I think that this is one of those things where it's all going to come full circle, probably with like a music video 2 years from now. Like, we're going to get some sort of music video and it's going to have the hatching or the egg or the cage or the bird, or the bird's going to be like a common theme throughout a bunch of stuff, or we'll see her wear something orange and feathery. I definitely think that this is something's going to come of this. And I think the most interesting thing you said is that birds hatch just like snakes. That's never dawned on me, the connection of like the bird and the snake situation. So I also, when I think of orange feathers and birds, I think of like a phoenix rising from the ashes, which we know we've heard her say before. And we know that she said that Reputation vault tracks are going to be fire. So I'm like, fire, phoenix, bird, orange. Very curious as to all of this, and love your thought process here, Kenzie. Thanks for listening. Next is from Anonymous, and they said, hey Reagan, what are your thoughts on the rumors that Actually Romantic is a diss track on Charlie XCX? I have a hot take, and that is that this might be a little bit of like a marketing ploy on their end. We know that Taylor has written tracks like Thank You Amy before. I really think she's such a stand-up person that there is a world of possibility that she may have consulted Charlie's team before doing this. Maybe I'm being insane by saying that, or just hopeful. I also just think that art is up for interpretation, and anytime, how do I say this? Basically, Taylor is such a genius in her marketing strategy that having a track like this that is elusive and gives you just enough breadcrumbs to come to conclusions like it possibly being about Charlie XCX is just another PR move as well. Like, am I saying she wrote this entire song as a PR move? No, I'm saying it like probably did come from real emotion and real experience. But the fact that it's just gives you enough to be like, what is this about? It gets people talking, it gets people posting online, it gets Charlie's fan base involved, it doubles the numbers, it gets news stations posting about it. And ultimately, it's very smart. Will we ever get confirmation about who this is about? Absolutely not. But I do think there's a possibility where if she really wanted to ride the wave with Life of a Showgirl, she could come out with like remix versions, and putting Charlie XCX on this song would absolutely break the internet. And I think that would be super duper 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 fun to see from her. So I have no idea if that's a possibility. I have no idea if maybe it is about Charlie XCX and Charlie's pissed. Maybe that'll never happen, but there's a world where a girl can dream. And the last one is from Anonymous. It says, I'm a young girl from Ireland. Now, when people picture Irish people, they think of pale skin, red hair, and freckles. And that is exactly me. Everyone in my class is very tanned, and I struggle to fit in. I'm the only one in my class with red hair. It's quite annoying after summer when everyone is comparing their tans, and all I have to show is a few more freckles. I know people aren't trying to be mean when they say stuff like, you're so white, or are you feeling sick? But it hurts, and I need your help. Okay. This is very valid because you never know the insecurities that people are living with based on looking at them. And I know this is cliche to say, but we are always our own worst critic. And often what we have what we can't want, and we want what we can't have. So when you're pale with red hair and gorgeous freckles, you want tan skin. When you're tan skin, you wish you had lighter skin with freckles. And that's maybe not always the case, but as you get older, this will be something that you will change your perspective on. I always had this mentality as a child. You look around, you see other people, it's like, oh, I wish I had as flat as a stomach as her. Oh, I wish I was tall like her. Oh, I wish my cheerleading uniform fit the same way it fits her. Oh, I wish my boobs were bigger. Oh, I wish whatever. It's a hard reality to come to, that wishing for something that you don't have is really a losing battle. And coming to terms with who you are and how you were made is far more productive than wishing for things that you cannot change. You cannot change the fact that you have pale skin. You cannot change the fact that you are Irish. You cannot change the fact that you have freckles. Sure, you could wear makeup, you could wear long sleeves to cover it up, but what is that doing for you? What is that doing? How is that serving you? It's not serving you. You are from Ireland. You're Irish. That's incredible. You have ancestors that did so many cool, crazy, and incredible things to get you to the place where your family was able to birth you and have you as a child. So what an incredible way to think about it, right? Like, it's about that reframe. And this sounds very silly and podcast host of me to say, like, how can we reframe this? The fact that you have pale skin and freckles and red hair is actually really rare. There's like, I think less than like 2% of the population on planet Earth has red hair. And I've even seen articles that say that red hair will be extinct. Like, there will be a point in time within the next few hundred or thousand years where nobody will have red hair anymore. And you will have children or grandchildren or family members, extended family members that will be looking back at photos of you and being like, wow, she is a unicorn. She's so rare. She's so unique. I wish that I could have met her, or I wish that I could have inherited her red hair. This is what makes you unique, and flipping your mindset, and you might wish, and I'm not saying it's going to go away. Like, I still look at other people and wish I had certain things that they have. Acknowledging the fact that this is something you cannot change and it's not serving you to have that mentality is really where I think you should start. And if anybody has any other tips, I'd love for you to comment below so we could help out our lovely young Ireland girl, because I wish I had red hair and more freckles. I put on faux freckles every day because I wish I had more. I had a lot when I was a kid. I don't have too many anymore. But we're thinking logistically about this. Pale skin is great, and it means that you don't have skin cancer. Nobody wants skin cancer, and honestly, we should all be wearing SPF. And if you really, 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 really feel like you hate your pale skin, invest in a self-tanner. Do not go to a tanning bed. Do not lay out in the sun and bake and fry your skin. Invest in a self-tanner. Try it out. Go get a spray tan if you're old enough. And that's that. You're beautiful just the way you are, and I hope that you know that, and I promise it'll get easier with time, embracing who you are. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you via the podcast form. If you have an episode submission, you have a guest that you would like me to have on the podcast, If you have something you want me to talk about, you need advice, help, whatever it might be, I'm always open to your feedback. I hope that you enjoy the new format that I've been doing, kind of sprinkling in some more storytelling and talking about my personal life and experiences and sort of the, I don't know, like self-help aspect of it. So if you have any thoughts, definitely leave me a comment or feel free to rate and review. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.